What she thinks is that when the last leaf will fall, she will lose her life too. And she has already told this to her doctor. Now, Sue comes to know what is going on in Johnson's mind. "Oh, I never heard of such nonsense," said Sue. "What have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? And you used to love that wine so. Don't be silly. The doctor said that you had excellent chances of getting well. Take some broth now and let me get back to my work." Broth is a hot soup. Here what Sue is trying to do is Sue is trying to instill some positivity in Johnson's mind, because Sue has been told by the doctor that if Johnsy makes up her mind to get well, she will get well. But Johnsy just kept looking out of the window. "There goes another. No, I don't want any broth. That leaves just 4. I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I'll go too." Now Johnsy is expecting her death today itself. She is thinking that the last leaf will fall today itself, and this will be her last day on earth. "Johnsy," said Sue, "will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out of the window until I'm done working? I must hand those drawings in tomorrow. I need the light. Otherwise, I would have closed the window. I don't want you to keep looking at those silly ivy leaves." Now, Sue is becoming a little irritated here, and Sue is asking a promise from Johnsy not to look out of the window and not to count the number of leaves that are there on the vine. Sue has some really important drawings to be submitted tomorrow, and the window needs to be kept open so that Sue can work in the light. "Tell me as soon as you have finished," said Johnsy, closing her eyes, "because I want to see the last one fall." Now again, a hint of hopelessness comes in Johnsy's statement. She wants to see the last leaf fall because that makes her think that that will be her last moment on earth. "Try to sleep," said Sue. "I must call Berman up to be my model for the old man that I'm drawing. I'll not be gone a minute." Now Sue is describing the work that Sue has to submit and the model for the old man that he will be requiring. Who is Berman? Old Berman was a painter who lived on the ground floor, but he was a failure in art. Why was he a failure? Because for 40 years he had wielded the brush. Wielded the brush means he was painting. He was painting very nicely. But he had not made any money. He had always been about to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun. Berman always wanted to paint a masterpiece, but he had never started to make the masterpiece. Masterpiece means it's a most valuable, outstanding work of art which is very beautiful, praised by everyone. For several years, he had only made a few paintings. He earned a little by serving as a model to the young artists in the colony who could not afford other models. He always talked of his coming masterpiece. Now in these days, what he is talking about is he used to stand and give a pose so that other junior artists can use him as a model and make paintings about him. Sue told Berman about Johnsy's fancy. Fancy means imagination. So he explained to Berman what is going on in Johnsy's mind. And Berman was also surprised. Berman was shocked that anyone could have such idiotic imaginings. What? He cried. Are there people in the world foolish enough to die because of leaves dropping off from a vine? I have not heard of such a thing. Why did you allow this thought to enter her brain? She is very ill and weak, said Sue. The fever has made her mind full of fancies. The fever has gotten to her brain and she is unable to think properly. That is why her thoughts are imagining things. This place is not good for Miss Jauncey. Someday I'll paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away. Yes, said Berman. Now he is repeating the same thing. Who is this? Can you please mute yourself? Can you please mute your microphone? Please press the mute button from your side. Who is this? Who is Y Deval? Okay, I have muted it from my side. Alright, so Berman is repeating the same thing that he used to tell everyone about his coming masterpiece. Jauncey was sleeping when the two went upstairs. Now the two means Sue and Berman. Sue showed Berman the ivy vine that Jauncey saw through the window. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking and then began their work. They saw an opportunity here to do something to help Jauncey. Outside, a cold rain was falling continuously, mixed with snow. Sue closed the window. Next morning, when Sue woke up, she found that Jauncey was staring at the closed window again with dull, wide open eyes. Open the window. I want to see, she ordered. Sue obeyed. Sue did as Jauncey had told him to do. He opened the window. But lo, even after the rain and the fierce wind that blew throughout the night, there yet stood against the brick wall one ivy leaf. It was the last on the vine, still dark green near its stem, but with its edges tinted with yellow, shaded with yellow. It hung bravely from a branch some 20 feet above the ground, as if the tiny leaf was hanging on to life. It did not want to die and fall down on the ground. It is the last one, said Jauncey. I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today and I shall die at the same time. Jauncey was preparing herself for the last journey that one makes alone. That last journey is death. The feeling was very strong within her that she is going to die today. The ties of Sue's friendship and other things on earth became loose one by one. She started becoming dejected and she started keeping herself away from all the worldly things like the friendship and other things, and she prepared herself to leave. The day wore away. But even though the day wore away means the day passed and the evening came, but even through the twilight means dusk. The sun has set, but the sky is not yet dark. They could see the lone ivy leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. At night, again, the wind raged and the rain poured. Wind raged means it was blowing very strongly, and the rain was also very heavy.